pretty sure these gates could have stayed up another 10 minutes. This is why I don't want to vlog. Look at this blubber. I hate it. It used to be there. Not a year ago, that wasn't there. But I started getting greedy. I'm here in the beautiful countryside with my scooter, my backpack. Inside the bag is all my droning equipment, and I thought I'd share with you even, the things that I bring with me when I go droning. It's carefully thought out, honest. I have a Mi electric scooter, which I swear by. They're super nippy, reasonably safe if you're careful, and they can just get you to places quickly. But the key thing I want to share with you is what's in my bag. I might as well start by looking on the outside. I have a Manfrotto fold away tripod stand. This comes as a team of 3 and they kind of clip together. And I've got this because I'm going to mount my tablet on there for when I'm droning. But I'll also use it for filming with this camera that I'm holding in my hand. The first thing I want to share is the actual thing that I use to attach my tablet to lighting stands. I don't really use tripods for things like this. I use light stands. And when you're out here, wherever you're droning, the chances are you'll be on soft ground like grass, like I am now. And you could easily get something to tie the tripod into the ground. Rather than in a studio you'd use a sandbag, you can just tie it in there with a bungee cord. I'll show you that in a minute. But I want to show you this. This is what I use to mount my tablet onto a light stand. It's plastic, it's cheap, and it'll probably break. And when it breaks, I'll buy another cheap one, because this is certainly good for an unlimited amount of jobs. If you just use it for what it's designed for, it should last you a long time. The reason I like this one is because it has a button on the back here I can press, and when I press that button in, what can I do? I don't know what I can do. I should be able to move this. Should I not? Oh, I can. I can move it down, look. I can move that, I can slide that down. But it's also got one control here, a button here I can press, and this side to pull this up and down. So it pretty much fits any sort of standard iPad up to the very, very big ones. That'll hold a full size, massive Pro iPad. But more than that, it has at this end the option to put your tripod in there or whatever you want to put in there. But it also has an option here to do it, which I think is excellent. But also, more than that, I can move this up and down its center of gravity. I know I'm spending a lot of time talking about such a simple thing, but it's just that the thought that's gone into this is superb and I love it. Now, a lot of you might just attach that straight onto a stand, I don't know, but I always use magic arms. These are on Amazon. I'll try and put links down below if you're interested in looking at these things. So this is one I use. I like this one because, put that down, it's got this little, it's slightly ratcheted, so when it grips, it's not just being gripped by pressure, it's actually being gripped by teeth that exists in that little silver bit there. So it's good, better quality. This end, I always like having one of these clamps on. That's what I'll be clamping to the top of the lighting stand, which means I don't have to change the end of the lighting stand to differ between the camera. I'm using the lighting stand right now on the camera, and then this end will go into the center section of this, just like this. It absolutely smells here. Delighted that we're being joined over there by some burn-up children with their motorbikes. Oh, lucky old us. Right, what else do I have in here? Well, I have, what's this here? I have a spare battery for the camera, and do get Sony batteries, because if you've got a Sony camera, get the proper batteries for the gear, because they will die or they'll catch fire and you'll die. In my bag here, this is, now first of all I should show you this is my rucksack. It is a rucksack, but at the same time this will come down at the back like that and zip down, so it then becomes, let me do it, zip it down there and tuck that in. Is that supposed to be tucked in? No, zip that down there. And then it becomes one of these type bags. Cool, eh? But in here, I use it as a rucksack mainly. In here I have my iPad Pro, which is the 9.7 inch one. Oh, that's, things are falling out. I have my landing mat for the drone, which comes with its own 3 pegs. I have, highly recommended, a little hammer with a hook on the end to pull the pegs out. You will not believe how difficult it is to get pegs out of the ground once they're in there. They're doing their job. What else have I got in here? Ah, here is the bungee cord I'm going to use. So I'll use this bungee cord, very short little bungee cord, very cheap on Amazon. And I have a, I don't know what you call that, a guy spike for guy ropes. And then I'll put that into the ground and I'll use the bungee cord on it like that, and that will be holding down the tripod. I'll wrap up the tripod, stick it in the ground so the tripod doesn't fall over and causing me distractions, because one thing when you're flying a drone, one thing you have to be careful of is not being distracted. Next thing in here is my case with the drone in it, which I'll open in a wee bit. Anything else in here? I think that's it. Hello, anything else? Let's take a look at my drone setup. This case, I'm not very happy with this case. Although it does the job brilliantly, I've realised that I really need to be keeping my batteries properly stored away in fireproof bags. And this case does not allow you to do that. So this is what you get with the case. In there I have a vis vest and various little pouchy things. This is where I keep all my cable management. So I've got the cables for the controller, I've got spare blades, I've got some Apple cables there, and exchange, I don't know, bits and bobs, all the things you get with the drone. And then inside here's my drone, and as you can see, the battery there, the battery on the drone, I shouldn't really store your batteries like that, because they will have a tendency to, well, they might just catch fire. On the back, I will cover it up, but I've got a little note on the back there of, if ever this is found, that's got my name, number and address, and I point out the fact that this is a registered drone, therefore we know where it is if you do decide to keep it. I do have this here, which is the little pack you can get to mount the say your iPhone, that's what they're called, into the controller. I used to use that, but I really don't like this controller at all, unless it's just being a controller. I don't like fitting iPhones to it or anything to it really. I just want this to be a controller by itself. So this is going to connect to the iPad via, now I haven't tried this yet, this is not a proper Apple cable, but it's a lightning cable, but it's not a proper Apple one, so fingers crossed it'll still work. I'm going to test it and see. It wouldn't charge my iPad when I tried it at home, but I think that was just because it wasn't getting enough power. But let's see if this handles the data properly. And that's pretty much my setup, apart from my beautiful electric scooter. So if you excuse me, I'm going to put the tablet on this tripod now. Right, there's the stand. There's the controller down in the ground, and my stand just sits like that. I'm going to fly my drone above these wires. I'll probably head off, not towards the cables, but over that direction there. If you were wondering, I found out the smell is not this place over here. It was something that a dog had left for me right behind where I was sitting earlier, so I was enjoying that. I prefer, like with Magic Arms, I prefer hanging them from higher up. This isn't pinned down yet, but I will pin this down, because then there's no chance of it like slipping or falling while I'm using it, you know, so I always let it hang and let gravity help me when I'm mounting the iPad on stuff like this. Little tip there for you, no charge. Right, I just want to share something with you. Anyone who's used to putting these things away, well, I'm just going to take the battery off here. I'll leave it on for this demonstration. So here's your drone, and this is the worst part of this whole experience, is folding these legs away, and then the blades are all flying around, and some people like to take the blades off, but there is a little thing is you can get, it's this rubber, and what it does is it's got a slot there, and it slots into the blades like this. You slot the blades in there, and for some reason, by magic almost, it kind of sits. Oops! It kind of sits like that in that little bit of rubber, and it holds those blades in place for when you're traveling. And likewise with these two bad boys here, you do this, and then you get this thing here, which is kind of like just a piece of strip of rubber with two plastic clamps on each end, and then you put the blades into the middle, and these will grab onto the arms and hold the blades down perfectly. If I've done that the wrong way around, is it this way around? Only fits one way. So you can see that, and then that holds the blades in. Beautiful. Little top tip there. Right, that's it. I've only got to take my floor mat up and then I'm done. Turning out to be a nice sunny day here up in Beverley in East Yorkshire, and I'm going to do lots more droning fun. I've just been commissioned to do some work, so I'll be off filming around the country soon, with the faint promise that I might be spending quite a while in the States filming as well. So hopefully I can be able to vlog that as I go, but I hope you've enjoyed this little outing with me as I fly my drone about, and join me for more. If you like what you've seen, you can subscribe. If you, well, you know what to do. Just click all the buttons and send me some love.